How are you all? Welcome to our CSS training session. Today we are going to talk about a very powerful feature of CSS Flexbox. Flexbox is one of the best ways to create responsive and flexible layouts. So let's begin today's session. First of all, we use Flexbox when we need to align alignments properly, regardless of whether it is on a small screen or a large screen. To make a container a flex container, you simply apply display flex or display inline flex. As you can see in this diagram, the area marked in dark red represent the complete flex container. The elements inside the flex container are called flex items. These items are arranged according to the flex properties, meaning you don't have put in too much effort to align them. In this example, the area in red represents the container, and the item within it are flex items. Now let's take an example and see how it works. If I open my code editor, I first define the container. For example, I create a container with the class container, and inside it I add three div elements with the class flex item. Here's how it works. I select the container using its class. I apply display flex to it. As soon as I apply display flex, all the items inside the container are aligned in line. Without display flex, the item would stack on below other. In this example, I gave the container a background color of hashtag F2, 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 like light gray. I applied padding of 20 pixel, which you can see around the container. For the flex items, I gave them a background color of green. I set the text color to white. I added padding of 20 pixel and a margin of 10 pixel to create space around each item. The text inside the item is centered using text align center. When I applied flex 1 to the items, it ensured that all items had the same size. So friend, it is important to understand one more concept, main axis and cross axis. The main axis is the direction along which all the flex items are aligned, while the cross axis is perpendicular to it. In the diagram you see here, the main axis is represented in one direction, while the cross axis is perpendicular to it. Now let's talk about Flexbox properties. The first property is justify content, which aligns the flex item along the main axis. Some commonly used values for this property are flex start, align all item to the start of the container, center, align all item to the center of the container, space between, distribute the items evenly, leaving space only between the item. Space around, distribute the items evenly with equal space around them. For example, if I apply justify content center to the container, the item align to the center of the main axis. Similarly, if I set it to flex start, all the items move to the start of the container. If I use space between, the items are evenly spaced with gaps in between but no space at the edge. With space around, equal space appear around each item. Here's how it looks in practice. If the container is smaller, the item are adjust accordingly based on the justified content value. The next important property is align items, which aligns item along the cross axis. Some common values for the properties include stretch stretches the all items to fill the container's height default. Flex start align the items to the start of the cross axis top of the container. Flex end aligns the item to the end of the cross axis bottom of the container. Center centers the items vertically along the cross axis. Baseline aligns items based on their text baseline. For example, if I set align items center, the item align vertically to the center of the container. If I increase the height of the container to 200 pixels and change the background color, you can see the item adjust accordingly. If I use align item flex start, the item align to the top, and with flex end, they align to the bottom. By default, the item are stretched to the fill of the container's height. Through this example, we see how Flexbox allowed to easily align items both horizontally using justify content and vertically using align items within a container. These properties make it simple to create responsive and well-designed layouts. Now let's talk about flex direction. This property decides how the items will be arranged left to right, right to left, top to bottom, or bottom to top. The possible values of select direction are row, item are arranged from left to right default, row reverse, item are arranged from the right to left, column, item are arranged from top to bottom, column reverse, item are arranged from bottom to top. Let's look at an example. If you reduce the container size and set flex direction row reverse, you will see the order of item reverse. For instance, if the default order is 1, 2, 3, reversing it will change the order to 3, 2, 1. Similarly, when you set flex direction column, the item will stack vertically from top to bottom. If you use column reverse, the item will stack vertically but in reverse order from bottom to top. Now let's discuss the flex wrap property. This property determines whether the item should wrap when they overflow the container. By default, items do not wrap, but you can enable wrapping using flex wrap. For example, if you have several items and the container size is reduced, enabling flex wrap will make the item move to the next row or column as needed. Here's an example. You can also use wrap reverse to reverse the direction of wrapping. With flex wrap, items wrap onto the next line when the container becomes too small. For instance, if the items are initially arranged as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, applying wrap will move item to the next line when the container width decreases. With wrap reverse, the wrapping happens in the opposite direction. Flexbox is a game changer for creating responsive and adaptable layouts across all screen size with minimal effort. If you have any question or want to know more, feel free to ask in the comments. Keep smiling and happy coding. Thank you.